guys, welcome back. So today I'm just going to be showing you some different types of Bloxburg builders. And so first, to start off, we're going to start off with an aesthetic house, which these are basically just soft role play homes. So even though aesthetic is used to describe a group, this is like a soft aesthetic. And normally when I see with these types of houses, normally these builders do like to pick out their colors before they start. Sorry about my voice, by the way, I have allergies. So there's this. I normally use the light pink and linen, always linen with some type of wood texture, white, and some type of gray. Those are all the colors that you normally see. Sometimes you'll see cobblestone, you'll see other types of things too, but they'll use this as what to do for their color scheme. And you'll usually see that they have a lot of texture and depth to their houses. And also, please don't make fun of me for how bad this house is going to be. This is me just throwing something together randomly with like no idea of what I'm trying to do, because normally when I build a house, I have a layout set up before I actually start. And for this, I'm just randomly building. So normally they try to add as much depth in it, and you also see that they use lots of gable roofs and advanced placement of plants, things like that. You'll see a lot of speed builders that do this type of theme, and you'll see that they normally include lots of these colors, and they usually have at least 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, normally, and a baby room. And you'll see that the kitchen and living room are not normally close. They have like a breakfast table, a dining room. I'm not going to do interior for this video because I don't actually want to put that much effort into something, but normally this is how they're built. And they usually have a second floor, but since not all people have that extra game pass, not all of them, but from the aesthetic houses that I've seen, they normally have like this space in between, so you can do like a roof that goes like over it. And this is how I've seen for a lot of houses, and it's just the front. Sometimes they have sometimes they have like a balcony, but normally they also have a backyard. So like I said earlier about the gable roof, normally they'll have the gable roof. And so here it is. And I didn't really know how I wanted the gable roof to look in this, so it's not exactly the best. I just kind of wanted it to be like layered. So there's this, and also they usually have a garage. And from what I've seen personally, the washing room is in the garage, but that's not always the case. And I'll just be like going over things, and normally that's really all that it is for the exterior. They'll have like concrete paths going to the house, and they usually have pillars. And for the door, they normally use a specific type of door. And so for that, I'll show you what type of door I'm talking about. And sometimes these houses also have like these little out pieces. I forget what they're called, but they like go out of the house, and then you put like a window there. The way I did the gable roof, it won't work with this house, so I can't really show you guys what I mean, but just try to think of an idea, I guess. So it just kind of goes out like that, and kind of like makes a square. That's kind of the best picture I can give you. But so back to what I was saying about the garage, is that normally they're like either connected to the house or they'll be slanted off to the house. So I'm just going to do this, and I know it's not even at all, but I'm just going to do like this because I don't know what else to do. And they'll usually use the same thing as the house. They'll use a gable roof or whatever other type of roof that they used for the house. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. But for the inside of the house, it's usually linen flooring with some type of like horizontal planks, like wood planks or like the long planks. And that's normally how they do it. This is also my perception of it, so tell me how you'd build your aesthetic houses in Bloxburg. So the next Bloxburg building style that I will be showing to you guys is modern houses. And normally you'll see these ones, and they'll be on like a hillside, but they're normally bigger, and when they're not, they usually consist of flat roofs and things like that, and lots of windows. So this modern house is going to be small and L-shaped, just like the soft aesthetic houses. I normally see these types of houses up on hillsides, so I think that's really cool as well. I'm just going through, and I don't like the way the shape is already made, so I'm going to try. And I believe I've already said this, but normally you see these builds with lots of windows, and they have flat roofs, and a lot of times you'll see them and they'll be very, very big. And these are normally like the biggest houses because they like spread out around like they look like mansions. And of course, you get like your soft aesthetic houses and they look like mansions too, but not in the way that these ones do. These ones are like insanely big most of the time. And I also see that they're associated with like beachy themes as well. So I think that's really cool. I love the beachy theme that goes along with the modern mansions. So tend to see just like, even if they're not on the hillside, they'll normally have like mountains around them or something. So I made a modern house, and I can do a house tour of it. But like what I'm showing you right here is normally how I see the roofs are. Sometimes you'll see different roofs, like slanted roofs and stuff, but this is the roof that I normally see. So this is just what I'm going to be using because I don't want to actually make like a giant house or anything, because I'm just going to undo all this when I'm done because I'm broke. But yeah, they normally consist of like specific types of things, so like specific doors, specific windows. They normally have a lot of the same stuff. And right here I was kind of struggling to figure out what to do next, so I decided I'd start with windows, or I'd go to windows next. And normally you'll see like the clear windows, so it'll just have like a solid outline, and they normally are just giant windows that you'd see on a modern house, and there's lots and lots of them, like I said before. And when I say lots, I don't mean like, yeah, there's a bunch of them, like there is a lot of them. And normally you have like an entire wall open, if not more. It's weird, but like some people can make it look nice, I guess. But they are generally a lot more expensive because of the whole window, door, roof theme. And of course, you need to make sure that they look modern, and modern tends to be more expensive. So it makes sense why these houses are more expensive and they look better, I guess. Because of course you see a soft aesthetic home, and they look great, These just seem to look richer. Okay guys, so this next one, and I think it's our last one, is cottagecore / fairycore, or like mushroomcore, anything like this. So I'm going to show you like a basic shape that a lot of people see, and obviously it's normally not this small, but it's a mushroom shape, and I'm going to show you how I do it. You just start off making like the base shape, and you can make it like taller or whatever too, which I think would make it look a lot better if you gave it like a second story. But then you want to find the roof, which the flared mansard roof I think works pretty well, and you just kind of have to make it come up at the top and then flare it out, I guess, if that makes sense. Like bring it out. Sorry for my voice, I have a stuffy nose right now, allergies, but yeah, you just kind of, it takes a bit, and I guess you get better with it the more you go along. I've only made a couple of these types of houses. I had a mushroom bakery at one point. I really liked it. It was really pretty, but I deleted it so I could use the plot for a speed build. So, and then I never posted the speed build. This one looks absolutely terrible, but it's fine, It's not like I'm actually using it. I'm just showing you guys an example of what you should do, and then there's different ways to do this. You can use the polka dot one, or you can take like grass and like oh my gosh, I don't know what happened there, I'm sorry. Or you could take grass and like dirt piles and place them on and just paint them plastic and white, and I think it looks really good. But you could also do this, and I think this also works. So there's this, and then you can just use like a sand texture or a leather texture and do something like beige or something for that base. But I'm going to show you some more of a cottage core or like fairy core style. And I watched a tutorial for a bridge, so you can just look up how to make a bridge in Bloxburg, and they're actually not that hard to make. But I'm not going to be showing you guys how to do this in this video. So this is just kind of a layout that I've seen a lot for these types of houses. Oops, I went on build mode. These are just the types of like designs I normally see. Normally they're big or whatever, but they're also kind of like cramped and small, kind of giving off that like cozy cottage type of vibe. So if you watch my cottage core house not speed build tour, you might recognize this design because I kind of had my layout similar to this, but this was also, I also do my, like, not research, I guess, I just kind of look things up on like Pinterest or like Safari, and I'll just look up Roblox cottage core house, and then I'll look up cottage, and then I'll just see what the similarities in them are, and then I'll find something that I want to base it off of. So for certain houses that people ask, like, oh, can you do speed build on this? I don't always want to do a speed build because they're like original houses made by me. On the other hand, though, I'm okay with doing other speed builds that are similar to this one. So for this, I'm using a curved roof because it kind of gives off like a vintage, like an older vibe. Not vintage. I don't think vintage is the right word for it, but it's like not very modern, I guess. And then normally they'll have like an outline on this, at least that's what I've seen when I looked up all the cottages, and I wanted to make mine look more of a soft aesthetic, so I just made it so I used plywood and linen, and I think plywood is also very good for this. I would highly recommend plywood no matter what color scheme you're going with, like the dark brown color. I think that works as well, but obviously I would not do it this badly if I was building like my one is more like the first one rather than the next ones, but this is just to get it out of the way because I don't want to actually spend time on it. And then you go with like a gray or a blue or something, and then you can do a plank to give it like that built out of wood thing. But you can also do it with different colors. So for this one, I'm just doing pink and planks, or a gray with planks. And I think that looks great. And then you have all this inside space, and normally you'll have like and then you can just have like your normal house like layout, you know, bedrooms upstairs, maybe a downstairs bedroom. But for these types of houses, considering they're smaller, I recommend just having everything on your bottom floor and then only bedrooms and maybe a bathroom on your top floor. And you can change up the flooring a bit. And what I mean by that is just like having different floor textures. So maybe for the kitchen, you'll have something different than you do for the living room. And maybe the bathroom is tile instead of wood. It doesn't have to be like that. I just think it makes it look nicer. I didn't do it for my house because I didn't think it fit my house, or like what I was doing with my house. But I think it would work for a lot of different houses. And here I am, I'm just decorating, and I'm putting a lot of detail, and obviously this isn't as much detail as I could be using, considering I'm broke, but just lots of things, like, and now that they've added the resizing tool, I think it makes it a lot better, because now you can put more stuff on, like, side tables and shelves, things like that. Some things I highly request, and, like, I say like too much. A lot of things I request, oh my gosh, what's that word? I request you to use a lot of jars, books, pictures, those vintage telephones. Those seem to work really well. Just a lot of everything, I guess. And make sure, like, placemats, plants. You can do, like, dirt piles for blankets or clothing. Just any type of plant could be useful. And obviously, I'm just placing them all down here just to kind of, like, show you guys an example of all the plants you can use. But don't put them all like this unless you want to, because it might look good. Painting easels, those are great. I highly recommend. I found the word. It was recommend. Okay, so I recommend using those types of things, like the painting easel, whether you put a painting on it or not, I think it looks really good. Carpets, rugs, the circle ones, those ones I really love. And I wouldn't recommend you to use the sofa that I used. Use a more expensive one if you can. I don't think they work out that well. Like, I think it looks better if you use like a comfy sofa or something. Nothing really modern, because you want it to give off like a different type of vibe than that. But I do think it'd be good to do other things that require like different types of furniture they might not normally use. Same thing goes for the stairs, I guess. You don't want it to be the same stairs that you'd see in every other house, but it might be easier for you, so that's okay. And same thing for like the kitchen. Make sure it's like full of detail, because that's like the entire purpose of cottage court. Detail, cluttered, crowded. And I'm doing an island to take up space, just because I need to take up space right now, which, like I already said, is a big part of these types of houses. So I'm just going through and I'm looking for all the things that you normally have in a kitchen, and then I'm just going to go through and add some decorations to it, because that's the most important part. Once again, I can't stress that enough. If you're making a house like this, you need to clutter it. And I know clutter doesn't sound good, but it is the only thing that works in these types of houses. You need to have. And of course, you can make these types of houses without it. I don't think it fits the entire idea of it. And then you go to a door, and normally it's a very open door, like a glass door or something. But it can also be like a wood one, and I think a wood one would work just as well. I prefer to use like this type of door though. So I'm just going to be like copying and pasting some stuff over, because I don't actually want to go through with all the stuff I'm doing right now. I just want to show you guys an example. But like I said, lots of plants, just any type of decorations that you think look nice that you can just add over would be perfect for this type of house. And so what I've noticed with my building personally is that I tend to use the same types of plants. So like I'll use a lot of mushrooms and like trees and like succulents. Actually, I don't use cactus that often. I normally put those in different types of houses. I don't think they fit the vibe of these types of houses. But like lots of trees. Like I think the exterior for this is also very important. Lots of like rocks and like just lots of outdoor exterior too. I think it works really, really well in this type of build. It makes it just look so much more realistic. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.